Does the phrase business hours mean nothing anymore? Just once, I'd like to finish my morning tea before... We're closed!
Evie! It's me! Open up!
It's who?
Jack!
Jack, this had better be good, or I swear.
You gotta help! Please! It's all my fault!
You're handing me a rabbit.
Yeah!
Jack, this rabbit seems the picture of health. What exactly do you need my help with?
It's not a rabbit! It's my friend!
Well, animals can be your friends all you like, Jack, but that doesn't explain why...
They've been polymorphed! It's not exactly a rabbit, it's a real-life friend who went with me to take a contract.
Let me guess. Sorcerer?
Yeah, and we did complete the job, but they cast one last spell before I got them under control.
And why didn't you nicely leverage the sorcerer into undoing the spell?
I wasn't about to let that nasty guy get off easy, not when I know you can fix this. Wait, you can't fix this, can't you?
That all depends. How long ago did this happen?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours or exactly 2 hours? I need details, Jack. I suppose they might be able to be saved. How do you plan to pay for this?
Well, I thought, since you're the best sorceress in Saphira City, and the prettiest, and the most talented, and one of the dearest people I've ever known, might you do me a favor?
Jack, you can't compliment me until I give you free services. I've already helped your left hand grow back free of charge. I have a business to run here.
But they're a new recruit. They were just doing what I told them to do.
And that's not my problem. I want 1/3 of the cut you're getting from the contract.
What? No! That's too much! 5%!
25.
10!
18%, and you leave me alone while I work.
Fine. Please fix this, Evie.
When will you learn, Jack? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? I've been cleaning up after you since we were children.
Maybe I'll learn next time.
For the sake of my sanity, you'd better. Go on, get out of here so I can get to work.
You're the best, Evie!
I know I am. All right, you. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't let Jack do stupid things. If you're gonna run with him for a while, that's rule number 1. Don't look at me like that. I'm gonna put you up here on the table so I can get a proper look at you. I suppose you're lucky. This is what I call a cookie cutter curse. No blood magic, no long-winded spells to recite, just a few things done in the right order. You should be grateful you were turned into something pleasant. I've seen someone polymorphed into a giant wasp before, and they had a hell of a time trying to get to me for help. Everyone in sight wanted to murder them. What is it? You're hungry, aren't you? I'll find you something. Don't thump your impatient feet at me. I'm just trying to be a good host. Undoing this could take 2 minutes, or it could take a few hours, depending on how powerful the sorcerer was. Do you really want to sit there and be hungry in the event that it takes longer? That's what I thought. Now, let me see if I can find you some fresh vegetables. Here we are. A handful of spinach should hold you over. For a rabbit, you look surprised. A lot of people don't know this, but when you're polymorphed, you take on the appetite of whatever creature you've been turned into. Luckily for Jack, and I suppose for me, you weren't turned into a wolf. Eat up. Now, while you do that, I'm going to scan you to see if I can find the entry point for this spell. Wherever it hit you on your body, that's where I'll have to extract it from. Ears look good. Nothing on the head. Your front paws for a moment, if you please. Very good. Nothing here. And excuse me for a moment while I look at your stomach. Nothing. All right, back down you go. Here, on your side. It glows a bit for me. It's just hard to see under all that fur. Lizards or hairless cats are much, much easier to locate the entry point. Not that I wish you were turned into one of those, it just means my scan is a tiny bit more invasive, that's all. But it's just here. Oh, does that tickle? My apologies. All right, let me just... I'm going to mix this powder with a bit of oil and water and make a paste. There's a lot of things in it. I keep it prepped in the event of such situations. The components within help with the extraction and banishment of most run-of-the-mill curses. It's not required, but it makes my counterspells more effective. Over the years, I've refined my ingredients down to my own unique blend. I know what you're thinking. Why don't I sell it? Well, sadly, it's most responsive to my magic. For those with magic, the gift is like a fingerprint, and while there are general rules to the way magic works, there are small tweaks we can make here and there to make our craft more effective or powerful. So this blend is unique to me, and while it may offer a general boon to another mage, it's not going to work with their magic to the same honed effect that it does to mine. Long story short, it's proprietary, but only because it's worth very little to anyone else. There we are. Now, you'll want to take a healthy lick of this paste and let it slowly dissolve in your mouth while I work. I know it smells less than appetizing, but you don't smell so great either, and I'm making do. Go on. Perfect. If it dissolves down completely, just take another lick. You'll want to keep some on your tongue, slowly dissolving the whole time I'm working. Now I'm going to start extracting the curse from you. Try not to move around too much. In fact, will you lay down on your side? Thank you very much. Ready? Here goes. Grenat e hari, ilo reto pel la sarfesror, fif onef bohu. Come on now. Come to me. Just a bit further. I've got one end of it. Now I'm slowly going to draw it out of you, like pulling on a thread. I'm sure this tingles a bit, but you'll just have to bear it. This is the part that may take a while. I'm hoping that since you're a smaller creature, it won't take as long and you can be done with the whole thing shortly. I will, of course, have to keep an eye on you for at least a few hours, but ideally through the evening. I can see that you're wondering why. Well, in some cases, little bits of the spell break off in the extraction process, and they manifest as little physical characteristics later. A tuft of fur on your face, for example. Beetle wings popping out of your back, or hooves growing at the ends of your limbs, things like that, depending on the animal you were, of course. So we'll be watching for that, which usually only happens in the first hour after the spell has been removed. But the more dangerous side effect is fatigue. Your body goes through an awful lot, and unless you're a druid accustomed to changing your shape frequently, you won't be used to that kind of strain. If you must faint out cold, I'd rather you do it here where I can keep an eye on you, instead of on a freezing trail in the woods, or an isolated camp, or a tavern floor. Wait, you aren't a druid, are you? Blank stare tells me no. Goodness, you're a bit grumpy, aren't you? Can't say I blame you, though. This isn't how I'd want to spend a day either. Don't be too hard on Jack, though. He means well. He's just a bit thoughtless at times. There's no one better to have watching your back. I mean, he brought you here, didn't he? A lesser partner would have left you as a rabbit in the woods and claimed your percentage upon turning in the contract. I can guarantee you that Jack is waiting at the tavern across the street, staring into his ale because he's too distraught to drink it. He won't turn in the contract without you. Hopefully, by this evening, you'll feel well enough to go celebrate with him. That is, of course, assuming you still intend to spend time with him once you've received your cut. Oh, look at that. The last bit of the curse. All right. Stand up. You may feel a strong tugging sensation. Oh, careful. I've got you. You're all right. You're back to normal. Jack could have warned me about how attractive you are. No, really, you are. Let's get you seated here by the fire. There you are. Feel free to use the blanket on the back of that chair. You may feel very cold for a few minutes. Are you comfortable there? Good. Here. It's just water, I promise. Sip it slowly. If you keep that down, then we'll upgrade you to some soup and bread in a bit. I don't think so. The essence of magic I pulled from you felt very complete. I'd be quite surprised indeed if any lingered. You can just focus on resting. I apologize if any part of that process was unsettling or invasive. It's a bit difficult to communicate completely, which is why I leave a few moments for you to hop off the table if you don't consent to one part of the treatment. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, I do think you'll be recovered by this evening. You do intend to celebrate with Jack, then? Well, I'm glad to hear that your opinion of him has not been soured by this experience. You mean, what is he to me? He's a lifelong friend. He and I grew up in the same village, got into the same shenanigans. Many of us traveled together for a time, but then I fell in love with Sapphira City, and I couldn't bear to part with it. I'd received formal magic training back home, so I decided to put it to good use here. No, he's not more than a friend. I don't have anyone more than a friend, if that's what you're getting at. Oh, well, in that case, yes, I'd love to go out with you this evening. It's been a while since I've been out with company, especially company as lovely as yourself. Well, I certainly wouldn't say no to a refreshing drink after this. But for now, I think you'd best settle in. Take a nap if you'd like. I'll be working around you in the meantime, and if you need anything, just let me know. I'm at your service.